Okay, the purpose of this clip is to talk to you about the narrative essay and the expectation that I have for this assignment for you to incorporate literary elements into your narrative essay. So when I say literary elements, I basically mean character, setting, conflict, plot, theme, and let me make sure I've got all of these. I want you to have some scenes, at least one effective scene in the text of your narrative essay. So let's first talk about character. What do you want to accomplish when you have a character in your narrative essay? You are obviously the main character in your narrative essay because it's going to be written in first person and it is about a personal experience from your past that relates to either reading, writing, learning, or language, including math, the universal language. So you want to have another character that you develop. How do you develop this character? Through use of close description of the character's behavior and actions, description of the physical appearance of the character, and definitely including the dialogue or the speech of the character. So using quotations to bring that character to life and give that character speech will be effective. So those are ways that you can develop the character in your essay. The next thing you need to be aware of is plot. Something has to happen. You do not have an effective narrative essay if nothing happens in your essay. If it's just an overview of this year and this teacher and that teacher, that is not effective. Nobody wants to read that. So make sure that you are writing about some action, something that has happened, and the smaller the event as far as the span of time it covers, the better. I mean, it can be a very intense event, but it needs to, an incident that occurred over 3 days or an incident that occurred in the classroom one day that you can describe in great detail is more effective than giving an overview of 5 or 6 years of your education that add up to your disenchantment with mathematics. So something has to happen, and in the plot you need to include at least one scene, which means describing something that happened one day in class. So that is sort of a point-by-point description of what happened one day. That's a scene. You need to also have a sense of setting that your reader gets from reading your narrative essay. Setting includes when, where, and place. A sense of place is what you want to give your reader, a sense of time. I can't appreciate your narrative essay if I read the entire thing and I have no idea how old you were, where you lived, what grade you were in. If I don't know these things, then you have not effectively provided a setting for your essay, and you need to make sure that you do that. Conflict. You've got to have a conflict. This is what makes a narrative essay interesting. There's got to be a struggle, an obstacle that is at the center of your essay. Think about the essays that you read. The conflict in Superman and Me is that this brilliant young child is not appreciated in any way by his peers, and he has conflict with authority. The teacher's not expecting him to be smart, and that creates problems for him. And the poverty that he lives in is conflict for him. And of course, Amy Tan's conflict is that she wants to be a writer, and the expectation of her instructors is that she should be a mathematician or an engineer. She has trouble finding her own voice. Her mother uses her for her voice, so there are all sorts of layers of conflict in that essay as well. You just need some point of conflict to focus on in your essay. And then, of course, you have to have a point to telling the story. There has to be some meaning that you reflect on in this essay, and that will be the theme or the narrative point. So make sure you have all of those elements accounted for in your essay. Character, setting, conflict, plot, with a scene and theme, and that will be the key to writing an effective narrative essay.